Welcome to the Maven Marketing Podcast. Today is Maven Monday. I'm your host, Brandon Welch, and I'm here with Kyle, the King DeVries.
Wow. What did I do to earn that nickname?
You have done like at least 11,000 more podcasts than I'll ever do.
I don't know if that's true.
The founder of the Missouri Sports Podcast. You should check them out. They're on a bit of a hiatus.
A little bit defunct right now, but
yeah, but
we used to be a thing.
They were a very big thing. If you are into Mizzou sports or anything of the sort, go check this guy out on Spotify, Apple. They're still up, yeah?
They're still there.
Yeah, he's coming back. I think he's coming. I'm still holding out for him.
Maybe someday.
Citing artistic differences. Is that what's going on?
Busy lives.
Busy lives. That's right. Okay. So, hey, Kyle is our resident expert in all things Google. He's brilliant behind every knob you could possibly turn on those platforms. But not only that, he's a heck of a good guy. And it's been way too long since you've been on here. Normally, it's because he's working his butt off, making our clients all kinds of money. But here we are. And it was just like time to talk about some Google review things. And I'm like, dude, come back.
Happy to.
Plus, Caleb's off taking a nap somewhere. So anyway, today is all about getting more reviews. And we've talked about this in the podcast before. But because we are in the business of helping you eliminate waste in advertising, growing your business so you can achieve the big dream, we're always bringing you things from the front lines. And there are a lot of shiny objects that exist in the marketing world. We are here to help filter out the ones that are worth doing and eliminate the ones that are not worth doing. We found one that is extremely worth doing. So there's a tool, and this is a pretty short episode, but we're just going to do a quick overview of what happened recently when we added this tool to a client's mix. And we've used this in a lot of times in the past, but this is just such a stellar result we had to share it. So it's all about how to increase Google reviews and basically your online reputation. Everybody knows reviews are important, but did you know that 91% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations? As much as picking up the phone and saying, hey, Kyle, would you go to this restaurant? If the online reviews say it, basically everybody is, agreeing that that's a confident point of for decision making. So
especially if you are a business with a higher ticket price, people are going to do their research on the front end, and Google reviews is probably the first place they're going to go. It's accessible. Everybody knows where to find them. And what's the most valuable thing you can read about is other people's experiences with the very thing that you're looking at doing yourself. So people want to hear stories about, what product or service am I going to experience?
Yes. So it's like the biggest thing we could possibly encourage for our clients to get that, because when you have good reviews, everything else works better. Yeah. Your branding works better, your Google ads work better, your Facebook ads work better, your website works better. But what is the challenge? Why? Everybody wants the reviews, but why do we not get them?
Yeah, for a lot of the clients that we work with, especially, I mean, it's usually like a technician who's there to do a very difficult job or a very specific job. They might not be trained to get reviews, and so they're there to do the job and head off to their next thing. And so it might not be the most natural thing for them to ask for the review, and it can be a little bit awkward for them and stuff like that. So
a lot of companies don't have a process.
Yes,
but even the ones that do kind of run into this maybe talent or natural propensity for these, more technical guys. It's not natural for them to want to influence or win over a person to say, hey, give us a review. So there's just a lot of charm and charisma that you kind of have to get people to do that on the spot.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And they've got bigger fish to fry a lot of times.
They're busy. Yeah. But the data shows that 70% of customers will leave a review when prompted, when only 20% will do it unprompted. And what happens when they're not prompted a lot of times is if they're going to leave a review, and they're not prompted, a lot of times it's a bad review. And so going out of your way to make sure that you're asking for the review, you've got a much higher chance that you'll actually get a good review, not only a review in general, but a positive one.
Yeah. It's one of the most common questions we get is, how do I eliminate this bad review? And the answer is always get 10 times more good reviews on top. So you need a process for that. And the tools that we're going to talk about today help you not only put a process in place, but they fill in for when human behavior doesn't come through for you. When your people are busy and you have inconsistent, talent sets with people who would maybe, have luck asking for that review and be naturally good at getting that. These systems send text-based reviews. And what they found, what the data says, is that 30 to 40% greater chance of getting a review when it's sent via like a text message, an SMS text. And I think we've all got that. We've had an HVAC person or somebody out to our house and we get a text, and it's like, when you have that instant gratification moment and they text you, I think we're so used to responding there.
Yeah.
What these services do is they automate sending a text message that says, "Hey, Kyle was just here. What did you think of Kyle?" And when they're worded like that, it makes us want to go, "Oh, Kyle was a nice guy. He did a great job."
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of want to help him in that moment. And so we'll go ahead and click the thing. And then from there, they make the steps so easy. Like it's just almost an instant experience to get them straight to a Google review where they can leave that 5-star that we all want.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Brandon, but texting has a lot higher priority in my mind than email. Like if I get a text from somebody, I'm taking it seriously. I know that most of the time it's somebody that actually needs to talk to me. And email, a lot of the times I'm just expecting it to be junk or whatever. I'm deleting like 99% of my emails. So text, I think, has a lot higher priority. It gets people's attention.
Without a doubt. All the data shows that. And I think it's more of a friendly mechanism to do that with. So the 3 services we want to talk about are BirdEye, Podium, and then a third one that we actually haven't had personal experience here using, but I've heard a lot of good things with a service called Nice Job. So you've probably heard of BirdEye, you've probably heard of Podium. I'm going to share a BirdEye case study. We implemented this just over a month ago with a client, and this client has been in business literally 20 years. They had somewhere in the 150 Google review, range, which when you think of all of the tens of thousands of people they've served, that's actually a pretty low mark. It's an average mark, but it's low. Like, you're getting way less than 1% of your customers naturally. This service, BirdEye, claims that they can get you to about a 5% response rate. So 5% of the customers that you work with, they think they can get them to respond and leave a review for you. So this client went to getting that 20% that you talked about, with most of those being on the negative side, because that was the, pushing factor for them to go do that. They got 7 new reviews in the first 2 days that we put this to use for them. And that was like
amazing. That's
like maybe what they got in 4 or 5 months before. 12 reviews in the last 30 days, and they were all 5 stars. We moved their star rating up a whole 0.2 of a point. So they went from like a low 4 to like a mid 4.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and the rate that this is going, we're expecting with the number of clients they serve, 15 to 20 new client ratings per week. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Just by putting this in their system.
Yeah. What's the catch? It almost seems too easy.
Yeah, the catch is that it there is an investment factor to it. Yeah. But when you think about a good review set, if you're in the low 4s like this client was, just by the way of humanity being not appreciative, that they do awesome work, this client does, but they just had some knuckleheads over the years. And your conversion rate on your website goes down by multiple percentage points when people see that, because the confidence or the lack of confidence has preceded their visit to your site. And so if you just raised your conversion rate by even 0.5%, most of these platforms cost a few $100 a month, but 1 or 2 sales for the average service business would pay for that.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about 0.5% in conversion rate increase on, thousands of visits a month, which most service-based websites get, it's an easy ROI. Mm-hmm. And we've already seen that. We've seen, I think, booked appointments. We had a year-over-year increase of 10 or 15 the first month we did this. And
wow.
for this particular client, in the legal space, that was that could easily be $15,000 to $20,000 worth of work.
Oh yeah, even just seeing a big number next to the reviews, and seeing 4.5 or higher or whatever, or reviews coming in regularly. That just, you almost can't even put a value on that, because it's so valuable and so important.
Here's another added thing. Employees, team members, when they see this happening and they start seeing their work celebrated, it has an internal effect to want to do more of that. B, they feel validated, and it just makes everybody want to do better because they're seeing it. Mm-hmm. And then, it also increases the referral factor, not just from, the outside world coming and seeing the reviews, but the person who left that review, that kind of programs them to already know how to talk good about the client just because they were prompted to do so. Mm-hmm. So that particular case study, if you've been looking at BirdEye or if they've called you, I'm going to tell you, we talk to a lot of shiny object. Sometimes we put them in the category of weasels, like everybody's trying to sell something and you get called every day, but BirdEye is a really good company. We've worked with them multiple times. We don't get paid a dime to say this. We don't have a partnership with them. We don't even get a discount on their services. But BirdEye is one you should definitely consider. The other one we have a lot of success with is Podium. We're going to lay out some key differences, but Podium takes that review automation and they add another component of text messaging. So if you're a business that's ever wanted to be able to text your customers back and forth, they basically give you a line that people can text in, and it comes into a centralized computer, or you could put the app on anybody's device, and your employees can be texting people, which is in and of itself worth another episode to talk about why you should be texting your customers. But they do that on top of doing that automated text after the job is done and saying, hey, would you like to leave a review? So BirdEye starts in like the 250-ish range. Podium is more like the 300 range. The one bad thing I'll say about Podium is they kind of require you to get like a custom quote. So they really do want to get you in their sales process, which is usually a mark of somebody who isn't just trying to pressure you, but they have a really proprietary and good way of doing things. So can highly vouch for both of those companies. What did you learn about Nice Job?
Yeah, so looking at Nice Job, it's a little bit simpler than some of these other options. They mainly just do reviews, so it's a little cheaper as well. But
I think I saw they're like $75 to $100 a month.
Yeah, so considerably cheaper, but also a lot simpler. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that some of the other ones have. But and like you said earlier, we haven't worked with this one directly as much as Podium and BirdEye, but we've heard really good things about it.
So if you want to explore some of these, look into BirdEye, look into Podium, look into Nice Job. I think BirdEye is going to be more in line for like a service business, like a pure like professional service business, or maybe like HVAC or plumbing. Podium is going to be really, really good at like retail experiences. Maybe you're a restaurant, and it's going to be good for like people who want to ask quick questions for either menus or items you have in stock. Nice Job is probably going to be a little bit more on the contractor side, and it's just going to be for that review automation. The two more expensive ones we mentioned, BirdEye and Podium, can both be integrated into most modern CRMs, meaning even if your sales guy completely forgets to leave the review, if he completely forgets to ask about it, or maybe he didn't even do that great of a job altogether, the review system is going to, as soon as he leaves and it gets marked in the CRM, is going to automatically fire. It's going to say when the job is completed, it's going to fire a text to Kyle and say, hey, Kyle, how did so-and-so do? If Kyle answers not that great, it's actually going to direct them. These programs will direct them to a page that's like, okay, cool, let's put this in the customer service. And then it doesn't prompt him to go straight to leaving a review. But if he says they were awesome, it's going to say, cool, thank you so much for the feedback. Would you like to leave us a Google review? And so they kind of deter some bad reviews in that way and help you get some intelligence on what your folks are doing and improve your customer experience. And every company has a bad day. So whether you're an awesome company or not, you're gonna get a bad review at some point. This is maybe even a way to play a little bit of defense of that.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is a really simple concept. Just look into the platforms as you're planning your budget for 2026, or if you listen to this in the middle of 2028, who knows if we'll all still be here, but if you are, you want to go ahead and definitely talk weekly about the importance of reviews for your business, because it is free marketing, and more importantly, it is like a real threat if you don't have some sort of thing in place. And these tools, I can't think of a business that it's not going to pay off for, even if you've got, $5,000-$6,000 a year in this, because
we've spent
a few customers going to pay for that usually.
Yeah, we have spent so much time, over the years with our clients, thinking of ways to incentivize reviews, or train their employees to do it, and how do we worry about the automation process and all this stuff? But these platforms just take all of those hassles and worries out of your hands and kind of just do it all for you. Takes all the worries out, and kind of take the responsibility out of your technicians' hands, and they handle it for you. So it's super nice.
Fast forward a few months, you're going to go, man, why is our website working so much better? Man, why are our ads paying off so much more? And it was all because you had a better process. So Hope you guys are having an awesome holiday season. Hope you're gearing up for 2026. The next few episodes, we're going to be bringing you some really tangible advice about how to lay out your marketing budget, how to negotiate the best rates for 2026, what we see on the horizon for like trends and things you do need to pay attention to, and then the things that maybe are shiny objects that you like, don't put so much weight into them. But the reason we're doing that is because we are just unreasonably excited about small businesses, owner-operated companies, and just seeing you guys do more with less. It is a complicated world. There is an elephant sitting on the chest of the American economy right now, and it's not easy. Like it is hard to make gains. You have to work twice as hard to make small gains. We're all about helping you stack those nickels. That's why we're here every week. That's why we wrote the Maven Marketer. That's why we have the Maven Marketing Mastermind. If you want a little bit more help, and that's why Frank and Maven, the founding agency behind this podcast, exists. We just want you to do well. We are here for you. We will be back here every Monday answering real-life small business growth questions because marketers who can't teach you why
Just a fancy lie.
have a great week.